Hey everyone, I'm going to speak with you today about health. Holistic health, sustainable health, not just health. These days, it is a very important topic, I believe, and we cannot speak about it enough. The World Health Organization is not speaking about this topic. We are speaking about protection, about keeping distance, about vaccination, and so on, but not about truly from inside keeping ourselves healthy and vibrant. I'm going to speak with you as a sound therapist and also as the founder and main organizer of Akasha Retreat Center, which is our retreat center, which is a center for natural health and for interspiritual knowledge and community. But more than that, I'm going to speak to you as a human being that tries to be as much as possible in tune with the intuition. And I can say the gut feeling of what is healthy and good for me. And I believe this is something we can all, we need more people like this who are in tune with their feeling. And we are told by the media, by the politicians, to just believe what they are saying. And we are told we are not smart enough, not educated enough. Let it to the virologists, to the doctors, to the politicians to decide what is good for you, what is good for me. I want to tell you, you have intuition and you have the ability to research and to have a curiosity for what is true, and you have the ability to trust your feeling. Yeah? We can all feel. Let's say when it comes to food, we can eat a hamburger from McDonald's and out of a curiosity going to feel inside of our body what is the effect of this hamburger compared to a fresh salad from an organic garden. What is the effect? We can be scientists for ourselves. So I think it's the responsibility of every single person to become a scientist now and to trust your feeling and express what you find out. So this is an invitation for you to be your own scientist. I'm not saying throw away all measurements of the government. No, not at all. I'm just saying, I'm just inviting you to be your own explorer and find out what is truly healthy for you. Now I'm gonna speak about health in the broadest sense. Actually, this is a workshop that I normally give as a part of sound therapy training and also as a part of retreats here in Akasha Center. And I call this workshop the recipe of happiness. I'm saying holistic health I'm gonna speak about. So with holistic, I mean health in the broadest sense. We have a physical body that is related to emotions. Those emotions are related to mental patterns, to thoughts. And we have a spirit, we have a soul. This is all connected. A holistic being is what we are. And we cannot isolate the physical body from emotions, mind, and spirit. So from this perspective, I'm gonna speak about health. But from now on, I'm gonna call it happiness. When we are truly happy, we are truly healthy. We cannot mess up our physical body and be fully happy. So these are interrelated. So let's speak about health in every single aspect of our lives. Let's speak about happiness. This workshop I call the recipe of happiness. Actually, I believe a recipe of happiness is very individual, and there cannot be a fixed recipe for everyone because we are so unique. We have different needs, different desires in life, different approaches to end up in the same thing. We all want happiness. This is a desire inside of every single being. We all want to be joyful, to be generating a loving feeling. We all want to be happy. This is simple, no? This is our common ground. And although we have different approaches, I think we can talk about different ingredients, 7 ingredients I'm gonna mention right now. Different ingredients that deal with the preparation of happiness, that deal with the circumstances that are beneficial to allow happiness to be cultivated. This is like cultivating the soil. We are making the soil fertile so that the plant and the flower eventually of happiness can grow and bloom. Happiness is something that comes from inside. We cannot find it anywhere in the outer world, not even in healthy food, not in relationships, not in a comfortable big house. It's an inner experience and feeling, but we can prepare the soil. There are beneficial conditions, and these 7 ingredients are beneficial conditions that if you apply them, each one of them, in your life, it is very likely for happiness to be fully there very soon. These ingredients are very simple. Most of the ingredients you will think, oh, that's it? So easy. But try to apply it in your life, and it's not always so easy. So simple that it's easy. So simple that it's difficult. All right, so let's start with the foundation. The first ingredient for happiness is healthy diet. Oh, simple, no? Healthy diet. For this, we can look into what we are taking into our body. I'm talking about food, but also other things, medicines, air pollution, and so on. What is our body absorbing? And of course, we can look into food. What are the substances we want to avoid in the first place? These days, if we go to the supermarkets, most of the products we find are full of stuff. Conservatives, taste enhancers, coloring, and so on. So let's first look at the ingredients before we buy something. And if there is something with E300N or E and something behind, consider not to buy it, because this is serious poison actually. And yes, we can eat all these things and still be happy. I won't say it's possible, but it's just more difficult to find peace and happiness if our body is messed up with conservatives, antioxidants, and so on. And of course, this we find more in fast food, in prepared meals in the supermarket. So if we can cook as much as possible ourselves, fresh vegetables, this is already avoiding these substances. Eat organic. Eat, if possible, from your own garden. If you don't have a garden, get one after the lockdown. It's really something to have in these days. Who knows when is the next lockdown? So get yourself a garden, make your own vegetables. There is not only the assurance that you have organic vegetables, but also you have an energetic connection with the plants if you are gardening. And actually myself, I'm gardening a lot these days, and it's something magical. There is an exchange going on between me and the plants, and this is an act that brings direct happiness already. And the quality of the veggies will be better than in the supermarkets, and the energy of the veggies will be adjusted to your energy. That's why I believe it's the very best to have your own veggies. If you don't have a garden or don't find the time to make your own veggies, just go to the organic shop. In the organic supermarket or shop, there is also there is a better quality of product, but also there is more chance that you have vegetables that were not grown out of GMOs, genetically modified organisms. So, yeah, these are important points. Apart from that, we can look into other things we are putting inside of our body. We can look into the amount of chemicals and see if we can reduce it. I'm totally not against the classical medical system and chemical drugs. It has its place, but do what you can to treat your illness with a holistic healing method first. Go and look into diets, possibly in Ayurveda or into raw food or whatever you choose. Go and look into essential oils. So before you go to the chemicals, look into this, and whatever path you choose, go for that. If you choose to eat raw food, then study the topic deeply, follow one dietist that you trust or one doctor that you trust. Follow this path and don't hop from one path to another. In this shopping society, it's easy to watch a movie, a video, and then they're talking about raw food. Then 5 minutes later, you watch another video. They're talking about some kind of Chinese diet, and you try everything combined, and this is not working. So find one recipe where you believe in and follow that recipe. So, oh yeah, one more thing about healthy diet. I found it a very interesting concept coming from Japan. This is called hara hachibu. Harahachibu means eat till you are 80% full. Of course, we cannot measure it, but we can have somehow a feeling if we are 80 or 90 or 100, the very max. So in Japan, they say a healthy diet is when you are 80% full. Try it out, see how you feel. I know it's not always easy, it's easy to grab just a little bit more. Try it out. Now, after a healthy diet, there is a second ingredient that is a foundation of happiness. And that ingredient is vitality. While the first one, healthy diet, is dealing with our physical body, the very foundation, vitality is dealing with our energetic body. In yoga, we call this our prana body. When we do acupuncture or when we work with Tai Chi, we are working on the energetic body. So vitality, you hear the word life, vita, life energy. Life energy is maintained and activated in two different ways. One way is through relaxation. Another way is through movement, exactly the opposite. Both of these opposites are creating a healthy, energetic flow within the body. First of all, let's look into movement. So I'm giving here all kinds of practically oriented tips, right? So when it comes to vitality, there is one thing we can do that is universal, that is very easy to apply whenever you don't feel happy, whenever there is a heavy emotion going through, you don't feel good in your body. Everyone can do it. Go for a walk. Go for a walk, preferably in nature. If you don't have nature nearby, find a park and do a little round. It can be 10 minutes, half an hour, 1 hour, doesn't matter. You will come back refreshed and you will feel better. That's how easy it can be. You have the opportunity to see from more far, the eyes find more rest. It's scientifically proven that this is healthy for the eyes to see from far. You can hear the sounds of the birds. You can feel the earth under your feet. If you can walk bare feet, it's better. Also scientifically proven. And for this, you may want to watch the movie Earthing. Super inspiring movie about a very simple thing we can do, walking bare feet. Earthing, it's a movement actually, and a very well researched topic, the health benefits from walking bare feet. So just going for a walk can already activate the energetic body. What else can we do? We can practice yoga asanas, yoga postures. We can practice Tai Chi, or we can do it in a more creative way. We can dance. We can create something when we cook. We can work with our hands. We can work in the garden. I'm working in the garden these days bare feet, and the moment I take out my shoes and I feel the plants with my hands, I feel energy rushing through my body, and everything naturally balances itself out, and my immune system is boosted. You can feel it. So there is different paths. Again, here, try not to mix too much. Find what works for you and go with it. Practice it daily or regularly. And really get in charge of your body and your energy. Get yourself behind the wheel. No? Another thing you can do is moving the energy, working just on the energy. In yoga, we call this pranayama. Prana, as I said, is life energy. Pranayama is controlling the life energy. It's working with the breath. We are offering pranayama workshops here also in Akasha, and it's a very interesting topic and practice to activate energy. So next to movement, there is relaxation. For a healthy, energetic system, we need movement and relaxation. Relaxation we can find in meditation. We find a deep relaxation. And meditation is offering much more than relaxation. But this is one of the great benefits. This is one of the practices we can do that brings up a deep relaxation. We work on the foundation because all kinds of stress and impatience, I don't find the English word. Things that make us nervous. All these things find their origin in our mind. So if we can observe this mind and find peace inside this sphere, our emotions will balance, our energy will be activated and balanced, and our physical body will be healthy. So deep relaxation is gained through meditation, but the deepest relaxation we find in sleep. Every single night, when our brain waves are going into delta, in the very deep sleep, the dreamless sleep, we recharge our batteries big time. So if you have sleeping problems, possibly look into yoga nidra or work with healing, calming sounds before you go to sleep. Find something that improves your sleep. The quality of your sleep determines so much from the quality of your day, and the quality of your life determines your happiness, basically. So look into your sleep if this aspect of your life is not working very well. Most people need about 8 hours of sleep a day, but this is different from person to person, slightly different mostly. So these are the deepest practices of relaxation. Other than this, we can take a massage now and then, although now this is difficult unless you have a partner or a friend nearby who can do it. We can go to a sauna. Also, if you have your own sauna, these days we can do it. So there is movement and relaxation, and I want to speak about one last source of energy activation that I find very, very effective. And this is called sun gazing. Actually, the main source of energy we have, the main source we know, is the sun. Without sun, there is no life here. And We people in Belgium, Europe, or the West, um, we know it very well that in the winter times we may have very dark periods and we may have a lack of sunlight. I found a very effective method to still get enough energy of the sun. It's something else than vitamin D. Vitamin D we mainly get through the skin, and especially the skin of the belly. But just the energy of the sun we can receive very easily through the eyes. Sun gazing is a practice that is very ancient and used in different ancient traditions from India to Africa and other places. And in sun gazing, we look straight in the sun. Obviously, you can't do that the whole day, and we should be careful with it. But again, here, trust your feeling. You are a sensitive human being. When you feel pain or an irritating feeling in the eye, then stop watching. It's very easy. So in this way, you don't damage your eye. So when can you look in the sun? Actually, more than you would think. Even in the summer, at least half an hour, and I would say more before the sun falls down, the sun sets. And also half an hour to 1 hour after the sun rises. Even in summer in Belgium, you can gaze straight in the sun without damaging your eyes, without having even an irritating feeling in your eyes. Trust your feeling. And through the eyes, we receive so much light, quite literally. Light and energy from the sun, it can, in a few seconds, recharge your whole day. I had it several times that in the middle of winter I see the sun coming out and I immediately run outside and get my few seconds of direct sunlight. And a few hours after, I'm thinking to myself, why am I so happy? I feel so good today. And then I have to conclude, oh, I was sun gazing. That's what it can do. Tremendous benefits. You find a lot of information on the internet about sun gazing. It's a very well researched topic, so try it out on Google. And try it out today, tonight, or tomorrow morning when the sun comes down a little bit, or when the sun shows its first rays. It's an amazing practice. So we had 2 ingredients: a healthy diet, healthy body, and second, healthy energy, vitality. Then there is a third ingredient, and this ingredient is quite a topic these days. Social connections. Crucial ingredients, basic ingredients for health, for happiness. Basic ingredient. And this is something we are losing in Western society. We are losing connection with our neighbor. Many people in the city don't even know their neighbor. We are losing connection with our family members, with the people close to us. We are losing connection with the people on the streets, and I believe the lockdown situation is an amplification of a social tendency of society that was already there and that was increasing in strength. The tendency to isolate with our ears listening other music, isolate with the sunglasses. In whatever way, more and more, we Western people mostly are trying to isolate ourselves from the other. What are we hiding? What are we afraid of to show? What do we want to protect? We need human touch. We need direct eye contact. This is a basic need, a human need. More than this, we need a harmonious connection with the people that are closest to us. If we just had a fight with our partner, it's hard to feel really happy, right? If we don't have a great connection with our mother or our father, if we carry resentment, if we carry resistance to the connection with the mother or the father, you can still be happy, but it's hard, really hard to be fully happy if we are not in terms with the mother and the father, as well as with our children. These are the people the closest to us. Are we able to maintain harmony, respect, love towards one another? These are the foundations. No? Actually, at this very moment, the grandmother of my partner, who became 92, is having her funeral. And she is, I can say, a strong woman, and I have no doubt that she died in a peaceful way. She has a strong devotion, connection with God, but many people don't have. And she died alone. She died alone in a home. Again, for her, I think this was not, she finds her way, but this is a very important point to consider in days like this with the lockdown. So many people are dying alone. I think it's our birthright to have someone near, and ideally someone that can give assistance in the passage. This is another expression of our inner state of separation. How much are we separated if we let people die alone? This is something to consider. What are our values in this situation? Now there is a fourth aspect. This is daily inspiration. I believe we are always students of life. Every single day there is something to learn. And I think once we lose that capacity, there is something wrong. There is something wrong. Every single day we should have the attitude of a curious student. Oh, what is there more to learn? What are the plants in the garden teaching me? Oh, I found a new book or there is this interesting video, or there is this view on life, or maybe view on the coronavirus that is different than mine. Interesting. What can I learn more? What brings me closer to truth, to happiness, to joy? What inspires me? So we need daily inspiration in the form of written words. So it can be a book or an article or anything else written. We need inspiration that we can take in through videos, through audio, but even better, much better, the very best is that those people who inspire us are in the same room as you are. And now we have a tendency, there is no other choice, to do so much online, on the internet. And we can be very much inspired, but the effect will not be is nothing compared to being in the same room with that person who inspires you. Let's say you want to learn to play guitar, and there is one guitar player that really, really inspires you. You love the way he plays, not just his techniques, but there is something else, something deeper in the way he plays. And you can watch his videos, listen his music, and it's great. It will improve your playing as well. But from the moment you are in the same room with that person, some kind of energetical transmission is happening. This is way more inspiring, and it will support you way more to become a great guitar player in the way you want. This is true for guitar, this is for learning languages, this is for learning how to cook something specific. Whatever you want to do, to learn, whatever inspires you, this is for becoming happy in general. If you're in the same room with a person who is ultimately happy, and I was for years in the same room with my spiritual teacher, a person that was, I think I can say, mostly blissfully happy, something happens in the same room. We didn't even have to talk. There was a transmission of happiness and bliss. So we had a healthy diet, vitality, social connections, daily inspiration, and now we're getting more refined. The fifth ingredient is a very crucial one: purpose. Purpose in life. In Japan, many people, I think even the average person in Japan knows the concept of ikigai. Ikigai means, literally translated, a reason to be. It's the purpose of your day or the purpose of your life. You can have small purposes, or you can have greater purposes that last for a life or longer. Every day we wake up, we have a certain purpose. And the more conscious we make this purpose, the more it will give us joy, and this feeling of direction, right? Gives us joy, gives us strength, power. We can have every morning a certain goal. For example, I woke up this morning and I had the goal to make this video. This is one of my ikigai, my small purposes of today. I have a greater ikigai for me personally, is this being a great sound therapist and supporting people with sound therapy and holistic health and awareness. This is my greater purpose. This can last a life or half a life. Another purpose can be to be a doctor. Maybe people have this purpose for almost the whole of their life. But suppose this doctor that worked for 40 years at some point gets older and cannot be a doctor anymore. He goes on retirement. So what happens to his goal? He's not a doctor anymore. He needs another goal. If he doesn't replace his goal for another goal, in Japan they would say he doesn't feel ikigai anymore. He's not in line with purpose anymore. This is important because if you lose that feeling of direction and purpose, you are basically dying. And there is more chance to die quickly. And I have to think about my grandfather now, who is still alive. He was a seller of products and a manager of a company. And he did that with a lot of joy. He was really happy about that job. But at some point he got retired, and then his main purpose now is maintaining the garden and taking care of his wife. And with his garden, he's so passionate. He wakes up at 6 or 6:30 in the morning. The first thing he do is, oh, how is my salad? How much did it grow? What does it need? That's his purpose, and it makes him feel alive. We can speak also about purusharthas. Purusharthas is one concept coming from the ancient yogic tradition, the yoga tradition. Purusharthas are four great desires in life that a human being goes through. This is interesting knowledge. We can place every single desire, dream, or wish within one of these four purusharthas. And each and every of the four purusharthas is important. We should live each and every desire in of these purusharthas. So one purushartha is called artha, and is the desire to have material comfort, to have prosperity, to have everything set at the basic level, to have shelter, to have enough food, enough water, to have the basic needs, right? We may have a desire to live in another house that fits that is more in line with what we personally desire. Everyone has different artha, different material desires. Maybe someone who lived on the street his whole life will be completely satisfied with a little wooden hut. Another person might not even be satisfied with a castle. So we have different desires. Artha is dealing with all kinds of desires in the material sphere. Then secondly, there is Kama. We know this from Kama Sutra, right? What is Kama Sutra about? Sex. Yes, Kama is about sexual energy, sexual pleasure, but it's about pleasure in general, the pleasure of the world. This is desires that deal with having a joyful, pleasurable life. Having not only enough food, but having tasty food. Enjoying good chocolate. So everything, every desire of the senses. Then 3, so Artha Kama, 3 is the most important. This is Dharma. Maybe you heard about Dharma. Dharma can be translated as the law of the universe. So being in line with the law of the universe, but is also translated as purpose on itself, personal purpose. We can say Dharma is your personal purpose in line with your higher truth. When your personal purpose is going to fulfill a beneficial role for other people or for society, the planet, or the whole universe, it becomes a dharma. And this is an important point because in this teaching it is said, and we can observe this also, that dharma is the first desire to focus on. First get clear what is your purpose. How can you serve humanity? How can you make this world a better place? Because if you find how you can do that, you will automatically fulfill Artha and Kama. Enough finances will come to you. Pleasure and joy will come to you if you know what is your purpose. So try everything. Do what you can to know what is your purpose. And we have also courses or aspects of courses dedicated to that part here in Akasha Retreat Center. And then there is a fourth desire according to the 4 Purusharthas, and that is moksha. Moksha means liberation, total spiritual liberation and self-realization. Moksha is the highest goal. Moksha means being free of any kind of suffering. And all the other desires are pointing at this one and growing towards this one once we fulfilled them. Spiritual realization. In other words, we can say ultimate happiness. So, after purpose, there is a 6th ingredient. This ingredient is music. Music we can experience both passively and actively. Passively, we can listen to music and be more conscious of which music we are listening to. Again, here we can have a curious attitude, the attitude of the scientists within our own body, with our intuition, which sounds and music are beneficial for you. Is it the radio or certain radio channels, or Are you gonna choose more consciously what you are listening to, which sounds you wanna be exposed to? If these are sounds that are created with the intention of harmony, this has already a much, much bigger chance of really harmonizing you, bringing you in tune with your own nature, strengthening your immune system, and so on. More powerfully than listening music is playing music yourself. And you don't need to be a musician to play music. We all have the most powerful instrument here right now with us. It's your own human voice, and you can sing, and it feels good if you express. And I believe in Western society we can express more. I regularly go to India. Actually, the past 10 years I've been so much in India, but still, every time I step off the airplane and I do my first stroll in some markets, some streets, I am surprised by people expressing through their voice just a song that comes up. Sometimes I'm walking and suddenly someone starts to sing, oh, super freely. And I'm thinking, whoa, this guy is really going for it. Everyone is hearing it and no one is looking weird. If you do this in Belgium or in another Western country, people are looking like, wow, is he on drugs or something? So it's an invitation. Just do it a bit more. Sing if you're shy, then don't do it outside and sing inside of your shower while you are cooking, waiting for the bus and there's no one to see. Just sing more. It really brings happiness. And of course, you can learn how to play an instrument and go more deeper in this fine art of creating music. And you can find truth and you can find universal laws if you study and practice music and sound. And if you really want to do that more, I'm offering sound healing courses. So yeah, as I said, this workshop is actually a part of a sound healing training. So if you want to go deeper in this aspect, there is a huge, huge path that I open up in this sphere. So that being said about music, there is a last aspect, a last ingredient, and that ingredient is proven by science to be an essential ingredient for people who live a long life. Actually, there was a research on a certain isolated island where people get very, very old, and scientists were questioning why are these people getting so old and what is their common denominator. And actually, most of the points that I was speaking about is inside of the results of that study. But one last important ingredient that was also inside is spiritual practice. On this island, their practice was a practice for honoring their ancestors, but it can be any spiritual practice. This is the more subtle, refined ingredient of all, but very crucial, I believe, to maintain strong health and happiness. A spiritual practice is something that in the West is not very integrated in most people's life, although I believe crucial. development of a daily spiritual practice is like a jewel. It's so valuable, not only for the physical health, but for the emotional stability, for the sharpness of the mind. You work more effectively, and more than that, you can penetrate the mind when necessary and don't get bothered too much by any circumstance, even if it's called lockdown or COVID-19. So if you have the chance to study spiritual practices, do it. Practice it daily, even if it's 10 minutes a day or half an hour. Maybe you can make 1 hour. Whatever time it is, if it's daily, it's so tremendously valuable because you are getting to know who you are. You are getting to know yourself. And this true being of yourself is beyond fear, is beyond changes of any kind. This true being of who you are, this is a spiritual being that is beyond the physical body. This is who you are, and this is what you are able to discover if you continuously practice. Whether it's on the path of yoga, healing sound, tai chi, shamanism, or whatever path that attracts you, again, find one path, walk on it and keep on walking on it. Don't hop from one path to another, doing one practice one day and another day another practice. Go deep in one practice and you will find the one source inside of yourself that is beyond worries, that is beyond words. On the spiritual path, there are 3 phases. There is one phase in which we transform. We transform our stuck energy. We transform our heavy emotions. We transform our mental beliefs that are blocking us to go beyond the mind eventually, that are blocking us to be happy and feeling totally free. So this is the transformative phase that we all need to go through on whatever path you are. After that transformative phase, we find a phase of developing our qualities of, it's very related to purpose, of getting to know your purpose and your heart desires and getting to know how you fulfill it, manifesting your dreams and using your unique qualities for that. This is a second phase on the spiritual path. And then there is a third phase. And I would say from everything that I've been telling in the last hour, this is the most important. From all the things, all the possible circumstances that brings you benefits, brings you support to find happiness, this is the main one. Serve others selflessly. For a moment, forget about your story. What is really important? Be there for others. Make yourself useful. And this starts with a thought. In Christianity, we call this praying. We can call it making a good intention. This starts with a thought. This expresses in words and often expresses in deeds, in action. But it starts here with a positive thought for someone else. Stop gossiping and thinking all this crap for your neighbor or other people close to you or the politicians, and think positive. For example, you think positive about your neighbor. You think, oh, this person has such a good heart, is such a nice neighbor, I'm so happy with this neighbor. You think. Then you speak about it to the people where you live with, and you say, oh, this person, I'm so happy, is my neighbor. You bring it in sound, you bring it in words. And the next thing that happens is you're not just thinking and speaking about it, you're actually doing something for your neighbor. So that's how the power of the mind expresses itself. So we are doing something for others and forgetting our story, but why is this point so important? Immediately we get happiness in return. If we give selflessly, and it's not always easy because often we expect something in return, consciously or mostly unconsciously, we still want to be recognized or recognized in whatever way, whether it's through gaining something materially, financially, or gaining just some attention and love. There is so much unconscious desire to be recognized. But if we really give selflessly, immediately we feel good, we feel happy. It's an immediate present to ourself. And what we give, we get back. Like in the Bible, it is said, what you reap, you sow. If you put a seed in the ground, you get that fruit. Yeah. So immediately you get it back, and also on the long run, it will come back to you. Maybe the neighbor that you were helping through bringing a pie is going to bring you vegetables from his garden, or support you in a moment that you really need it. So this is the most important, and we can start with it right now by thinking positively about other people. What makes other people happy? How can I be of service? So this is an invitation to go and look inside of our own life, and which of these 7 spheres, these 7 ingredients, is a point of work for you right now. Do you need to look into a healthy diet more than you do right now? What about your purpose? So let's investigate. Let's be the scientists for our own life. And let's continue to walk this path of and towards happiness together.